Okay, guys. So you are very welcome to our chapter number 10, session number 10. We carry on talking and discussing the main steps on the and activities of strategic management, which is our module ST106, and we are in the globalization strategies. Our discussion and our debate for today, for this lecture, it's about globalization strategies, and it's part number 1. So let's go ahead together and discover the main parts of this section and this strategies of globalization, and to know more information and to discuss it in more depth. Over the last 9 chapters, we discussed many issues and topics of strategic management and business strategy. We didn't mention too much. We didn't talk too much about globalization and international side. Always, all our concern was about internal and local and domestic strategies. We talk about strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation. We talk about strategy level. We talk about organizational culture and organizational structure. We discuss as well. We discuss strategic choices, and we discussed many or some main matrix, BCG matrix, and answer matrix, and answer matrix, BCG matrix, answer matrix, and traffic light or general electric matrix, gap analysis. We talk about gap analysis, and what else? BCG, don't forget at all SWOT matrix. SWOT matrix. So many strategies. Or let's say not strategies, many options and alternatives discussed and debated to discover let's say what are the many strategies that should be used internally or globally. Now we start talking about the global side, or globally to identify the many strategies to be used. Okay, guys. Then we talk about strategy evaluation, etc. What are the main intended or learn or objectives outcomes? What are the main intended or objectives outcomes? As usual, at each chapter, we hope, we believe, we expect that students and participants of MBA, Master of Business Administration, will deal with meaning of globalization and understand this meaning, and penetrating international markets. Here we start talking about not only local and domestic markets. We start talking about globalization and international markets. International markets. We recognize what is different about international markets. What's the difference between local and international one? We realize the objectives of market entry. What are the main market entry objectives? We distinguish between different types of market entry. Distinguish between different types of market entry. Okay, guys? Very good. Here are some keywords as we make agreement from the first chapter. Each chapter there are, let's say, 5 to 10 terminologies to be used and to be memorized, to keep in mind, and to be used in general with your general life and your empirical life. Globalization, penetration, market entry, co-location, internationalization, licensing, export and import, piggybacking, and franchising. I'm sure that there are many new words here in this term maybe you don't hear about, or it's the first time you understand what we are talking about. Okay, guys, so very good. Let's go ahead. This is our main chapter structure, our main issues. Introduction, globalization and penetration. What is different about international market? What is different about international market? Objectives of market entry. Modes of market entry. Objectives of market entry and modes of market entry. Okay, so we will discuss all this matter in detail in the following part, section 1 and section 2. Right. So in this chapter we talk about the global concern and the globalization concept. How can companies penetrate international markets and penetrate international markets? We identify what is different about international markets and explore objectives of market entry. Distinguish between different types of market entry. It's of importance to identify objectives of market entry and its type. So we identify its objective and its importance, and what are the main types that are used to go to international and penetrate international markets. For sure that there are some main differences between local and international markets and regional markets. So we will discover this in the following slide. What is the globalization and penetration? Globalization means the speed of movement and exchange of human beings, goods, services, capital, technologies, or cultural practices all over the planet. Now, here's the word, all over the planet. So, this is, for example, Syrian This is serial size. All right. This is our border. Right. This is the Middle East, for example, area, and here Syrian company in Damascus, Aleppo, Homs, Latakia, let's say there is Zor, for example, all this, especially in these areas, want to go, for example, to Lebanon or to Jordan, to Iran as the first step. Cyprus here, front of in the Mediterranean Sea, close to Latakia, it's about 84 miles, I think so. So maybe going to Cyprus or to Greece and start going to Italy, going globally to Germany and UK, etc. So we move, maybe we speed up movement and exchange of human beings, goods, services, capital, technologies, cultural practices all over the world or all over the planet. This is globalization. Especially nowadays, you know, guys, especially nowadays, this is our globe. This is our globe, and here you can see space shuttle, everywhere, sending signals and information about Earth, right? Sending signals and information and the internet and communication worldwide. 20 years ago and something before that, at our ages, in the first of our life, there was no internet. There was no mobile phone. There was only a landline. Only landline. And and the cars was at its first, let's say, ages and first generation. Everything was to some extent simple. Mail was by traditional and the classic mail. For example, we go to Al-Mazda, for example, for me, we go to Al-Mazda mail center to send, for example, some documents to, let's say, to UK and Germany to get an acceptance for a university to study my PhD and higher studies. And this can take it took me about for let's say 2 months to get feedback and to get an answer from them. To get feedback and answer from them, right? Nowadays, the internet in your integrated device, mobile phone, your desktop, your mobile phone, and all this information globalized, and you can send now a text message and video recording, right? Video recording and paid information and for articles and magazines and textbooks and on Amazon and eBay, etc. in 1 second. In 1 second now you send a message to UK, to Germany, to Italy, and all this information starts making our world more confused, make our life more complicated. We got something of confusion and dramatic changes nowadays. Dramatic changes nowadays we are living in. A globalization, in other words, can be defined as the increasing interdependence of world economies as a result of the growing scale of cross-border trade of commodities and services, the flow of international capital, and the wide and rapid spread of technologies. Okay, guys. So all of us now we are keen about this speed up of movement of everything, knowledge, experience, cultural practices, services, capital. Now there are international banks. Long time ago, you have to keep money in your pocket and to go to another country. Now, Visa card, MasterCard, everywhere, and all this communication worldwide, north, south, east, west. They are changing information worldwide in one click, only in one click. This makes pressure on our companies. This make huge changes in our style life and in our business practices, in our business mentality, and how to deal and how to manage and control your business activities, internally or locally. Why internally and locally? Because now, let's say we are in Syria, we are not out of this world, right? We are not out of this world. We are only part of Middle East, and we are part of this world, of this globe. And international companies worldwide, look at China here, occupying and penetrating all international markets. I lived in for a while in Italy, Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia, and the UK, in Exeter University. I lived there, and Chinese commodities and products everywhere make high competition and high pressure on British and European industry and European life, European style of life. Okay, guys. So here we have to be awake and aware and vigilant of this international trend and the globalization trend, especially nowadays at this stage. Okay. So we talk about penetration. On the other hand, the process of penetrating and then developing an international market is a difficult one, of course, because there is high pressure and border between countries. We try to penetrate this border and this culture and this regulation, this legal issue, and to go in depth in that market, in that targeted market, right? Entering a new country market is very like startup situation with no sales, no marketing, of course, with no sales, no marketing, infrastructure in place, and little or no knowledge of the market. That's right. Here you are living in Damascus, and your company, let's say, you are producing some specific product. You are sending your products, for example, to Greece and to Italy. Different culture, different society, a new environment, different legal issue, political side, economic factors, technological factors, environmental factors. So everything is quite new, and you might know only some and little information about this international market. Of course, you have, before you start exporting and penetrating, of course, you have to gather information as much as you can about this market. We do accept this. It's an important issue. That's very important. Okay, guys. So you have to penetrate this market smoothly and in a quiet and intelligent manner. Now all countries got high speed of globalization, high speed of competition. Many companies in each sector and in each section got competitive advantage, and all are aware about competitive advantage and international sustainability and such important issues, right? So entering a new country market is very like startup situation with no sales. Of course, as I mentioned here, we start with no sales because we just penetrate this market. We start waiting, or we do need a partner to penetrate this market. No marketing infrastructure, no reputation, and brand name, quite a new brand name, and no one maybe know about us, and little or no knowledge of the market. Here it's your way of how to get more information or to establish a partnership with an international partner to penetrate and to get benefit of. Do you remember when we talk about strategic alignment? Do you still remember when we talk about strategic alignment? What are the many stages of strategic alignment? It starts as vendor. Do you remember this? We start as vendor, then more, let's say, more correlation and more relationship between the two partners, then alignment, more interest, mutual interest, and then strategic alignment. Strategic alignment. Remember this? Remember this? Okay, so you have, I do advise you to find, to penetrate international market, and we said that what are the main benefits of alignment? Alignment is penetrating a new market, getting more knowledge, maybe more finance, more sales, getting more reputation with time, and all this we need it is different about international market. All is different about international market, right? So to establish and to put in place a marketing infrastructure and get more and more knowledge of this international market. Okay, let's see more. So, what is different about international market? What is new about international markets? A context of rapid business growth and organizational learning. We said nowadays we are living tremendous changes, competition everywhere. There is no country, no company, small, medium, large business is aware of these changes or a side of these changes, right? All of us, we are under stress, under pressure of international markets, of international markets. Okay then. So we start with penetration of foreign market is a zero-based process. At the point of market entry, the foreign entrant has no existing business and little or no market knowledge. Particularly with regard to the managerial competence necessary to operate in the new market environment. Particularly with regard to the managerial competence necessary to operate in the new market environment. So there is rapid business growth and organization learning. In context, here, as we mentioned already, penetration of foreign markets is a zero-based process. Penetration of a foreign market is a zero-based process at the point of market entry. The foreign entrant has no existing business, as we mentioned already, and little or no market knowledge. As we mentioned, zero-based process and knowledge. American company want to penetrate, for example, Indian market. So maybe they don't have enough information. They don't have enough information, and they need, maybe they do need more promotional activities, and they might need Indian partner to enter this and penetrate this market, Indian market. Okay. Right. Let's go to the second point. Go to the second point of this. What is different about an international market? Sorry, here. Okay. It's yeah. We go to the second issue. Or let's say before this, I do recommend you to let's have a break. Let's have a break for, let's say, for a while. Let's have a break for, let's say, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Have a cup of coffee or tea. Refresh yourself, refresh your information. And we get back to carry on talking about globalization and globalization and penetrating international market, and what is the difference about international market. Thank you for the time being, and keep listening to us in the second part after 5 minutes. Goodbye for the time being. Goodbye now.